Have you ever wondered why certain behaviors push people away, even when you don't mean to? Or why you sometimes feel isolated despite your best efforts? What if I told you that some simple actions are silently ruining your relationships, and you don't even realize it? In today's video, we're diving into how Stoic philosophy can help you stop these behaviors now and make you a more likable, grounded person. Welcome, everyone. Whether it's at work, with friends, or in family relationships, sometimes we unintentionally act in ways that distance ourselves from others. The good news? You don't have to keep making the same mistakes. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that's still incredibly relevant today, has powerful lessons on how to improve your relationships by focusing on the right behaviors. If you've ever felt misunderstood or even disliked for reasons you can't quite put your finger on, stick with me, because I'm about to reveal what the Stoics can teach us about building stronger connections and avoiding common social pitfalls. Section 1. The power of emotional control. One of the cornerstones of Stoicism is the idea that our emotions should not dictate our actions. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, wrote extensively about controlling impulses and cultivating emotional resilience. Think about a time when you snapped at someone or overreacted to a situation. Chances are, it wasn't the situation itself, but the emotional response to it that caused the problem. Real-world example. Picture a heated discussion at work. If you lash out in frustration, not only do you damage the conversation, but you also risk creating tension with your colleagues. According to Stoicism, the goal isn't to suppress your emotions, but to recognize them and choose your response wisely. Practicing emotional control is crucial for making people feel respected and understood, which builds trust and likability. Section 2. The dangers of seeking external validation. Another major principle in Stoic philosophy is the idea of internal versus external validation. We live in a world where social media, peer pressure, and external feedback often dictate how we feel about ourselves. But Stoics, like Epictetus, argued that our sense of worth should come from within, not from the approval of others. Engaging storytelling. Imagine a friend who constantly seeks praise for every little thing they do. At first, it seems harmless, but over time, their need for validation becomes exhausting. People start to distance themselves, not because they don't appreciate the person, but because that need for constant affirmation creates a strain on the relationship. In contrast, when you focus on doing things for their own sake without the need for constant recognition, you attract genuine admiration and respect. Section 3. The art of acceptance and letting go of control. A major issue that makes people dislike us often stems from our need to control everything around us. This is a natural human tendency, but it's also a source of constant frustration and anxiety. According to Stoicism, the key to peace is accepting what we can't control and focusing on our own actions instead. Real-life scenario. Think about a time when you tried to control an outcome, like a situation where you expected someone to behave in a certain way or a project at work you felt had to go a particular direction. When things didn't go as planned, how did it make you feel? And how did others respond? The Stoics taught us to focus on our own behavior and let go of the need to control everything. The more we try to micromanage others, the more we push them away. Section 4. The balance between being stoic and empathetic. Now, let's consider an interesting counterpoint. Stoicism has often been misunderstood as being cold or emotionally distant. Some critics argue that this philosophy encourages a lack of empathy or emotional connection. But this isn't entirely true. Stoicism isn't about repressing emotions. It's about understanding them and using them wisely. Contrasting viewpoint, think about empathy in relationships. It's crucial to connect with others on an emotional level, but there's also a fine line between being compassionate and letting someone's emotions dictate your actions. For example, being empathetic in an argument doesn't mean you have to lose your cool or become defensive. Instead, you can listen and respond thoughtfully, which fosters deeper connection without compromising your own emotional stability. Section 5. The importance of self-discipline in relationship. Self-discipline is one of the foundational virtues in Stoic philosophy. According to Stoicism, the ability to control your impulses and make thoughtful decisions is crucial, not just for personal growth, but also for building and maintaining healthy relationships. The Stoics believed that without self-discipline, we would be at the mercy of our desires, impulses, and external circumstances. Consider the example of someone who has difficulty saying no. They might overcommit themselves, promising things they can't deliver, simply because they don't want to disappoint others. This lack of self-discipline can cause them to seem unreliable, which over time can erode trust and damage relationships. On the flip side, someone who has cultivated self-discipline knows how to set boundaries and make thoughtful choices about when to give their time and energy. This not only fosters healthier relationships, but also earns respect from others, because they know that person has control over their actions and decisions. You might practice self-discipline by recognizing when you're about to act impulsively or out of convenience, and instead making choices that align with your values and long-term goals. In relationships, this could look like making sure you're fully present when someone needs you or not letting anger dictate your responses. Section 6. Recognizing the value of silence and restraint. A common mistake many of us make is speaking too much, whether it's venting frustrations, trying to impress others with our knowledge, or dominating a conversation to be heard. Stoics emphasize the importance of silence and restraint in conversations. The idea here is that not every thought or opinion needs to be voiced. By listening more than speaking, you foster deeper connections and show respect for others' viewpoints. Think about a situation where someone talks excessively, cutting others off or dominating the conversation. While they might have valuable points, their inability to stop talking often leads to others feeling unheard or dismissed. Stoic philosophers like Seneca argued that true wisdom is not in constantly speaking, but in knowing when to hold back and listen. When you practice restraint, you give others the space to share their thoughts, making them feel valued and understood. This simple shift can strengthen your relationships and make people more comfortable around you. When you're in a group conversation, take a step back and consider how much space you're occupying with your words. Challenge yourself to listen more, asking questions, and showing interest in what others have to say. This will make you seem more approachable and empathetic, qualities that attract likability and respect. Section 7. The perils of reacting to external events. One of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy is the understanding that while we cannot control external events, we can control our reactions to them. How often do we react impulsively when things don't go our way, whether it's a frustrating day at work, a disagreement with a friend, or a setback in life? Stoicism teaches that our power lies not in changing external circumstances, but in how we respond to them. Consider someone who, after receiving bad news, reacts by becoming angry or upset, venting their frustration on the people around them. This knee-jerk reaction not only makes the situation worse, but it also creates a ripple effect that can damage relationships. In contrast, a Stoic would acknowledge their frustration, but choose to respond calmly, focusing on solutions rather than getting swept up in emotions. This thoughtful response not only helps them maintain their inner peace, but also prevents others from being dragged into the chaos of their emotional state. When faced with a challenging situation, pause before reacting. Take a deep breath, assess the situation objectively, and consider how your response can influence the outcome. By practicing this Stoic habit, you not only stay in control of your emotions, but also maintain a sense of respect and calmness that others will appreciate. Section 8. Understanding the power of perspective. Another vital Stoic principle is the idea that our perspective on life, our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes shapes our experiences. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This concept is key when thinking about how our attitudes affect our relationships. People are often turned off by negative, closed-off perspectives. A Stoic approach encourages seeing the bigger picture, finding meaning in challenges, and adopting a mindset that fosters growth. Let's say a colleague fails to meet a deadline, and instead of being angry or frustrated, you choose to view it as an opportunity to help them improve or offer support. This shift in perspective can change the dynamic of the relationship, fostering trust and collaboration rather than resentment. On the other hand, a negative perspective can easily escalate small issues into bigger conflicts, as people start to feel that nothing ever goes right and the world is out to get them. Whenever faced with conflict or disappointment, challenge yourself to see the situation from a different perspective. Ask, what can I learn from this? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? Practicing this perspective shift consistently will help you navigate difficult situations with greater ease and maintain healthier, more positive relationships. Section 9. Practicing gratitude and contentment. Finally, one of the most transformative aspects of Stoic philosophy is the focus on gratitude and contentment. Stoicism teaches that we should not chase after fleeting pleasures or external rewards, but instead find satisfaction in the present moment and appreciate what we have. When we are constantly seeking more approval, more success, more possessions, we set ourselves up for dissatisfaction and frustration. However, by cultivating gratitude and being content with what we have, we can achieve a sense of peace and fulfillment. Consider someone who always seems dissatisfied, constantly striving for more, whether it's a new car, a bigger house, or more recognition at work. Over time, this person may become alienated, as their constant dissatisfaction can create a feeling of inadequacy in others. On the other hand, someone who practices gratitude for what they have, appreciating the people in their lives, the work they do, and the experiences they have, exudes contentment. This energy is contagious, drawing people in and creating an atmosphere of positivity. Take time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for. This can be done through journaling, meditating, or simply taking a few moments each morning to acknowledge the good things in your life. When you shift your focus from what you lack to what you already have, you'll find that your interactions become more positive and your relationships deepen. To sum up, the Stoics offer invaluable insights into how we can stop the behaviors that lead others to dislike us. By practicing emotional control, focusing on internal validation, and accepting what we can't control, we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships. So next time you find yourself about to react impulsively or seek approval from others, remember, these are the exact behaviors that could be holding you back. If you found these insights helpful, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever caught yourself engaging in these behaviors? How did you turn it around? Don't forget to subscribe for more practical philosophy tips and share this video with someone who could use a little Stoic wisdom in their life. Remember, no one is perfect, and we all have room to grow. The key is self-awareness and the willingness to apply these principles consistently. Embrace the Stoic way and watch how your relationships and your life transform.